Hi, guys. Guys ready? Okay, obviously, guys, we went in a little bit different time here and just give you the kind of the reason why. I wanted an opportunity to meet with our football team before we talked about this, to the media. And what I'm talking about is, Will Grier won't play this week, and obviously in the near future, due to taking a supplement, an over-the-counter supplement that had something in it that was on the NCAA list of things that you can't have. And, again, it's something that he feels horrible about. It's an honest mistake and yet can be prevented, and by just, checking with our medical staff. And, I want everybody to understand that this is, a mistake we'll learn from. And, with that, I thought it was important to bring Will up here, so he has an opportunity to visit with you, and then we'll go from there when Will's done. Come on up, bud.
So I took an over-the-counter supplement that had something in it, and I did not check with the medical staff before taking it. I really hope that that people can learn from this, learn from my mistake, and I'm really sorry to everyone. I'm just really sorry.
Look, guys, obviously this is hard, and I don't want anybody in here or anybody to forget. We're in this for these young men, and we feel for him. We feel his pain, and he had a chance to address the team, and spoke from the heart. And one of the things that he expressed, as well as we talked about this, we learned about it yesterday, or I learned about it yesterday, is the opportunity you have to maybe affect somebody else's life, and just understand that we can learn from this, and we will, as a university, we'll appeal this. And we support Will, his family, obviously, in every way possible. And yet, we also know that, there's certain steps that go along the way. When taking an over-the-counter supplement, doesn't matter what it is. That's the way it is. And so with that, we'll move on. Guys, I'd love to tell you what it is exactly. I'm not a scientist or a chemist. Stevie has the list, so you can look through and study all the things that are there and what the NCAA, policy is, and that's something we stand by, and so you know what, we move forward from here. And what it means is, for this football team, it means next guy up. And we're going into, obviously, a huge game. A huge game. And guys, it's a huge game because it's the next one. And, you know, we're going against a team that I think out of all the teams we played is the most complete team. Offensively, defensively, special teams. And each of their units feed off of themselves. In a great environment to play. That's why you play in the SEC. It's playing a game like this. And, you know, one of the things that as we talk about their football team, you know, I'll start with them. You know, them offensively, they do an outstanding job of winning first down, and they do that on both sides of the ball. They've done a great job of getting up on teams early and not giving the ball back. And, I mean, let's face it, this running back they have, everything you read should be celebrated because this guy's a real deal. And a lot of fun to watch play the game, and has taken his game and they've developed him to be not only one-dimensional but multi-dimensional. And the guy's in every down back at the next level, and fun to watch. And I think should be appreciated as you guys watch a guy play. I kind of like that when you're able to watch great players and see how they play, and this guy's no different. But let's not forget, for him to be successful, what the other 10 guys around him are doing. They're making the holes up front. He's taking advantage of it. Their receivers are relentless blockers downfield. They've got a quarterback that understands what color jersey they're wearing. He doesn't throw it to the other team, and he can beat you with his feet when he does have to throw as well. It's a different team than we've played the first 6 because we played basically spread-type teams. This is a different type of team that we're playing, and so it'll be a great challenge for our defense, you know, to kind of see who we are. And it should be a lot of fun from that side of the ball. You know, them defensively, obviously their defensive coordinator is a good friend of mine, Kevin Steele. He was our coordinator when I was at Alabama. This guy's one of the brightest defensive minds in the game. He understands how to coach defense. And lets these guys play, cuts them loose and lets them play. Excellent coverage team with some linebackers that can back up both in the run and the pass. What he's done to meld systems together, just going back and watching him when he was at Clemson as coordinator, knowing what he did at Alabama, and then seeing what he's doing now, you know, merging all those things together. And he's kept a lot of the things that his good friend John Chavis had done with them defensively, you know, in their sync with whether it's Mike or free safety coming, you know, as an add-on. Does a great job in adding extra people to the pass rush and covering with whether it be a lineman and still being able to have the middle of the field closed in man-free defense. Has all the confidence in the world with some great players. And Kevin's a guy I've got a lot of respect for, obviously, you know, in this. They don't hurt themselves, and they make you earn it. They don't give up explosive plays. In fact, when you look at this year's explosive run reel, there's only 7 explosive runs against them all year, and only 13 passes. So that tells you something about the quality of defenders they have there, and the job that he's doing, as well as that staff on that side of the ball. So with that, it's going to be a great task, and it should be a lot of fun and something that we embrace. And we embrace moving forward as a team and a program to have this opportunity to play in this type of ball game on a Saturday night in October with a great fan base. Really look forward to it. Obviously, you know, we'll be a guy down at the quarterback position, and yet what that means is, you know, we may have to dust some things off that we've done with some other guys, and we put a plan together and go play it together as Gators, and should be a lot of fun, guys. Questions? Yes. No, he'll still be, he's part of this team. He'll practice with us and all that kind of stuff, but obviously he's ineligible, so. Well, you'll see on the NCAA rules exactly what it is, and know this, we'll support him and appeal and do whatever we can. So you'll be able to read that off that sheet.
So this is an NCAA suspension?
NCAA test, and again, over-the-counter stuff that had something in it. So, yes.
What's the education process you guys?
Yeah, we do throughout the season. It's something that we cover, and he alluded to that he knew he had, as all our players do, before you even take cough medicine, you've got to check with the medical staff to allow you to be able to do it. And it's from an education standpoint, this is something that I hope other players, and as Will said, people can learn from. And
When did you become aware of the suspension? Or the
yesterday. And again, guys, I wasn't trying to hold anything from you. I thought it was important for us in this family that we meet as a football team, and at 2 o'clock is our first meeting, as you guys are all well aware of. Nothing changes there. And you know, that's the reason for the change. Okay? Yeah.
Message board post that was posted during the Missouri game that said Will was going to be suspended for steroids. So, just asking, just making sure what the timeline is. It was about 9 p.m. Saturday night.
Well, I know nothing about that. I was made aware of it through our athletic director and compliance department on Sunday. So I'm not aware of any of that. You'd know that better than I would, so
They posted,
I don't know who they are, so,
asking about it, trying to get the timeline.
yeah, I know nothing about that, yeah.
Any chance that Treon's been able to use the last 5 weeks as kind of sitting back and looking, and maybe
Yeah.
it'll make him a little bit
I think
better?
great question, and obviously we were putting things in for him as we kind of go. He's been doing a great job in practice, and as you know, going into this, I've felt that we've had two really good quarterbacks. Now it's Treon's opportunity to take the reins and run with it, and he'll do a great job.
Will kind of came up and offered himself as a cautionary tale. So what exactly is Florida appealing? Is it
It's and you'll be able to see that the procedure moving forward as to the length of the suspension, maybe. You know, look, I'm not real versed in exactly. I mean, this is my first rodeo on this, other than I know the rules. So, but we'll do everything we can to help him.
I mean, just when you got the news, it's how much did this just take the wind out of your sails?
Yeah,
knowing the way the season's going.
You know, more so for the kid. You know, and when you have an opportunity to sit down and visit with him and see the, you know, the remorse and the sorrow, that's hard. I mean, that's really hard. And as a coach, but more so as a human, to see someone go through that, it's not easy. But he knows we're here for him, and he also knows, as with whatever guys that have missed throughout the season, next guy up. And he reiterated that to the football team, which I thought, you know what, that speaks volumes for his character. And, you know, I wanted him to be able to visit with our team as well before we did this. And, you know, yeah, it's a loss. But we also have other guys, and we've got to move forward. And hopefully guys will learn from this. And as he said, it's an opportunity for, through his choices, hopefully some guys can learn from it.
The other night, you were saying how fun the defense is to watch.
Mhm.
Obviously, Fournette, biggest challenge probably it's faced, but just what level Can you just kind of like characterize the level you think this defense is playing at?
Well, it's
right
playing
now?
at a really, really high level, and one of the things in that last ball game, let's not go unnoticed, is offensively. I think we had roughly 38 minutes to their 22, which keeps your defense fresh and allows them to really play at a high level. I thought that was something that was very positive, and obviously jumping out to a lead, playing from ahead is a lot easier than the other way. And so there were a lot of really good things in that ball club. But, I think from a defensive standpoint, you're facing, arguably the best player in college football. His production, you can't, it's what it is. It's unbelievable. And so now you get to go challenge yourself. And we'll see how we do in practice. We'll see if we actually wrap up. Or maybe this guy called the herd guy at Tennessee, and they talked and said, man, you're going to love running against this defense. These guys don't tackle. So, he's probably excited as hell right now. He's probably saying, shoot, maybe I'm staring at a 300-yard game against these guys.
Well, I was going to say, he's 6'1", 230, and that Jared Davis is 6'2", 230. Just the challenge for.
It's a great challenge. And I think if you were to look at historical precedents based on how we tackled that big son of a gun from Tennessee, I'm sure he's probably looking at the film right now feeling pretty good about himself.
Jim, this issue with right here.
Sorry, Zach.
No
Yeah.
problem. Jim,
You're
this
in a
issue.
different spot.
I know.
All right,
We
you
are-
threw
we're
me
always
for a
gonna-
loop, man. I don't know what's going on right now. It's
See,
just
I'm in
like,
Edgar's spot, and my video. got messed up.
I'm usually pretty good at the Where's Waldo thing. I'm not doing good right now. Okay.
Jim, obviously this issue has been in sports for years and years.
Yeah.
What made you and the university so sure with the nature of Will's situation, that it was an honest mistake?
Well, you just look at how it was about. It's an over-the-counter.
Yeah.
You and I both can go get it. Anybody in this room can. Everybody in the country can. It's not anything. It's
It
over
wasn't
the
like it was
counter.
like a backdoor
And the mistake is, and the lesson here is for whoever out there, right? Make sure that just like we educate and our guys know, check with your medical staff before you put anything in your body. Doesn't matter cough medicine. You got to know what you're putting in your body. And that's an important thing here that obviously we didn't do. Will admitted he didn't do it. I think that speaks for him. He's not putting it on anybody else. He's a stand-up guy, and that's how he played the game and plays the game, and he'll be back. But it's an honest, over-the-counter stuff.
And because of how emotional he is and how hard I'm sure this is on, I imagine it could be hard for some of the team to get over this. How much does it help that Treon has taken over and a guy that's had experience and played?
And I think, Zach, that's it's what we talked about. I feel like we have two really good quarterbacks, and we've got a package for another one, and this is not an excuse. It happened. Things happen in life, and if you want to use it as an excuse, well, so be it. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to go in and we have a great week of practice. We're going to go play our tails off against one of the best teams in the country on their turf. And this ought to be a blast, man. This ought to be a celebration, this game, for what this is all about. This is fun. This is why we do it. And, if you don't like this, get out of it, man. Go do something else, right?
Can Treon make all the throws that Will
Yeah.
did, and
Yeah,
or do
he
you have
did.
to change the offense at
Yeah,
all?
no, I don't think so. I think, he's been practicing the same stuff, and obviously he's got a different skill set, so there's some things with his feet that are a little different. And, he's done a great job of extending when he's been in there. And so, I know this. I know Kevin real well, and they'll have all their bases covered, knowing, what we've done in the past in these situations with whatever type of quarterbacks we've had, and so it'll be fun.
So the offense basically look the same or a little bit different, or
Well, it looks better. We didn't produce much in the second half last week, so the expectation is to be better every week.
Did he fail a test? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah,
wanted to make
the
sure. Just
NCAA,
clarify.
yeah.
And then secondly, you are clearly making these guys more accountable. Bringing Will Grier up to talk, whether it's Kelvin, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously more accountability. Is that something that you were looking to do, or is that just your policy on making these guys into men?
I think that's part of growing up in life. That's whether it's a policy or I don't look at it. I look at each case as an individual event. And, in this case, there's a chance for other people out there to maybe learn from this. And that's a good thing. And we're not happy it happened. I'm not condoning it. But each one of us in this room have probably done something along the way. And that was part of growing up. That's part of life. And he knows, here's a good thing, we're here for him. This family's here for him. This university's here for him. And, our guys are going to support him in everything he's doing.
Do you feel like they grow from having to stand up and take ownership of what they did in front of the team, in front of the media, whatever?
I don't, each individual's different. I mean, just like our fingerprints are all different. So everybody's different. It's just how we've handled it wherever we've been and at different places I've been, and that's just something we do.
You said you had the opportunity, you and Will both, to speak to the team about it. What was the team's reaction to the news? How are
They hugged
handling
him. They care about him. And they appreciated his honesty.
How does this affect the depth chart of the quarterback behind Treon and who?
Well,
who
obviously,
will be up-
Grady will be ready, and and then we'll kind of go from there. But that's how we worked, when Treon wasn't here. So same deal. It
And you-
doesn't affect it any differently.
And you mentioned earlier you wish you could mention the name of the supplement. Why can't you? Is it student privacy investigation or what?
I don't know how to pronounce it or what it is. That's why he's going to give you these sheets and you can study it. Like I said, I just know it's on that list, whatever the word is.
How you talk about education, but how difficult is it to police if there's something like, I guess,
Well,
40
everybody
or
knows
50
the
supplements?
policy. You police yourself. You know what's, that you were supposed to check before you put anything in there, right? So you're no different. You either do or you don't. So I'm not, look, it just happened. And now we're dealing with it, right? Next. Anything? Guys good? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go back to your defense.
Good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Thank you. I think they are too.
2 road games without a touchdown, without allowing a touchdown.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty impressive. But I know you compare them a lot to the 09 Alabama, but is there anything
I don't have that's the one kind of, maybe the reason that and somebody had brought that up even before, but that's that one kind of benchmark that I'm personally aware of. And here's the thing that amazes me when I watch these guys, how fast they play. And it seems like when something's there, how quickly it closes. And when I look at it from a quarterback's perspective, when I see a guy that is nervous with his feet and doesn't get them set to make the throw, and as games wear on, that's the thing that's amazed me, because of the coverage has been good, and then it allows those guys to get it doesn't allow him to get his feet set and make accurate throws. And, I don't know what the guy's numbers were, but they weren't great. And he's going to be a very good quarterback. But that was a great lesson for a freshman right there against that defense.
surprised at all that they haven't missed a beat, given that you guys changed at least the coaching standpoint, or was that the emphasis when you took over? Was it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yeah, I don't think there's been, they, like I said, they did a great job here, and I've always said that from day one. And it was our responsibility to help those guys and now build on what was there. And, I think maybe that's a question for them. I'm just proud of the way they're playing and how they've bought in. And what I mean by buy-in, they are totally invested in the whole Gator offense, defense as a team and what we can do to get better as a team. And they recognize the 2-minute, 4-minute in one of the games. They recognize the fact in this last game, we held the ball for 38 minutes. That helps you be pretty good statistically on the other side of the ball, right? So there's a lot of positives that are happening. They're recognizing Johnny Townsend putting the ball inside the 20, inside the 10, and forcing a team to go long field. And likewise, offensively, they're recognizing the fact that the defense is going to get the ball back for us. And so that's where the team game comes in. And it isn't about one unit or the other unit. It's about the Gators. And right now, we're playing pretty good Gator football. And it's fun to see.
Jim, do you like what you saw in Columbia with regards to the offensive line and the offense communicating when the crowd was
Yeah.
there, and obviously a much different venue in LSU?
I think we've had two great tests for that, both at Kentucky and, working the silent and letting the crowd not affect you. Now, this is a different animal that we're going into. It's fun. Now, I'm telling you, man, I hope you're there. Are you going to be there? I mean, this is, and how many times have you been there? Yeah, so and this is what God, this is great. So we have to use the things that we work on, that we've situationally, and this is one of them, the crowd noise things, and not let it affect us. And I think for the most part, our guys have handled two environments, unlike what we're going into, but I think have been good teachable moments for all of them. All right? Thank you. Get Edgar?
I want to ask just one question.
Yeah.
About night games at Death Valley. What's your experience with them, and what do you tell kids about that? I don't think anyone on this team's played in one.
Yeah, I think we were there, and I think we went there with JP, and what would that have been, 2008, I think, and played him in, I think it was the one, and JP's going to get mad at me for saying this, but it was the one when he did the cell phone thing after he scored, because they had his cell phone number and were blowing him up all week. Great fan base. I love that, man. That's creativity right there. Poor guy had to cancel his phone and get a whole new one, and you know how that is. But that was a lot of fun, and so I look at the environment, yeah, and it should be a win for them from an environment standpoint because of how hostile it is and crazy it is. But I know, having been in it, I'm telling you, man, it's Butte, Montana. Okay, it's playing in Butte, Montana. Research that sometime.
Well, there's a tiger when you come out of the visitor's locker room.
Yeah, and it's
what are
cool.
some of the other aspects that you remember?
Well, it's a one-road in deal where you take the bus, and for whatever reason, the local bus company drives really slow, down that ramp. And, just the people just supporting their Tigers. And I don't know. Guys, this is cool, man. I'm telling you. And I know it's tough for people to come to the Swamp and play. And that's the way it should be. So, and it's a night game. We played night games. We practice at night. We do that. And so, I got a pretty good idea. We'll show up. We'll be there. And we will run out of the tunnel or walk out of the tunnel. I don't know. We'll get out of the tunnel, and I'll pull them out. We'll go in there and play this ball game.
Last one on Will. Can you give me an idea of when he would take that test and when I know you found out yesterday, but how long is that process? Is it does he take a test 2 weeks ago? And
Yeah, it was I can't give you the exact date. I know, and I think Stevie can give you all that stuff as far as when it was and how that process goes. And, I was made aware of it yesterday. And again, guys, I wasn't hiding anything from you. I felt it was important that we meet with our family and our football team, you know, prior to this, and who knows how this stuff gets out. I mean, you know, I know the few people that I thought knew about this. Obviously, there's a leak in this system, and I'm okay with that, but leak the right things. In other words, this is a family matter first, and I was coming to you straight up and let you know here at 2:15, not to hide anything, but out of respect for Will and this family and this team, I just felt that it was important that I let them know before, you know, their phones blow up. You know what I'm getting at? And that's the way it was. All right? Yeah, Nick.
We skipped our injury portion
Oh.
of the Monday press conference.
Gosh darn it. No, I tell you what, in fact, give that degree stuff to somebody else, will you? Okay, so other than some bruises, really, here's the only one that we're looking at. And I think Ciante, who's going to get looked at a day earlier, we're going to look at him tomorrow. I feel pretty good about him being able to come back, which will really help us in our, you know, green and other packages. So I'm excited about that. KT has an ankle, but here's the good news. It's not a high ankle. It's an ankle. So find out the difference on that one, okay? So he's good to go. He'll practice today. Callaway's got a bruise in his leg, but he'll be able to go. Joey Ivy is one that you know, did something to his stomach muscles, whatever that means. They hurt. And so he'd be the only one that right now won't practice today. Everybody else will practice. He's fine. Yeah. Morrison's fine. He cramped up. It wasn't, and I know the sigh, you know, as you're holding your breath because it was on that knee where his brace is. But yeah, in fact, he was making fun of himself after the game. It was classic Antonio, saying nobody had helped him up, otherwise he wouldn't have laid out there, you know. So, all right, thanks, guys.
Well, your suspension. What are you?